I want to start off by thanking Catholic Life Television and Stephen Lee and all the great folks that work with Stephen for all the things that they make possible by allowing us to spend a little time not only on the air, but also on these special web episodes. We want to talk a little bit about behind the scenes of what happens at St. Vincent de Paul. Joining me today are Chris and Kay Goday. We had a great show, and we talked. I think the power of the show was you talked about your prayer life, your spiritual life. How has that been impacted by your volunteerism at St. Vincent de Paul?
What's given us the additional dimension of our prayer life that maybe was missing, that dimension being putting our prayer into action. And I think by serving the poor, it's another form of prayer for us. Although it's important to say our prayers to God every day, whether privately or together as a family, but it's also important to live a life of faith where you go out and you put it into action. And that's what St. Vincent de Paul does for us.
It's increased the dimension also because if an individual that we either volunteer with or an individual that we're actually helping in the dining room happens to tell us, would you please pray for me because I've got this particular thing going on. So our prayer life has certainly increased because of the needs of those individuals that we have met through our volunteering.
That's powerful. Now, you see a lot of food come in, donated in kind. You see medicine come in, donated in kind. In a way, that's kind of an answer to a prayer. And did that surprise you when you first started donating your time and your energy, your talent, to St. Vincent de Paul, all this stuff that's donated?
Well, it was really heartwarming working in a pharmacy to see all the medication that was being donated. And what people realize when they don't have insurance, to be able to pay for a drug that costs $250 to $500 just for one prescription, it's amazing to see when people are willing to donate that medication to the pharmacy so that we can provide it free of charge to clients who really, really need it and appreciate it. And when one medication can cost $50 for one pill, one dose, that can be difficult for any family to be able to keep up with those expenses. And there is a gap, a healthcare gap, where people fall through it and they can't afford insurance and they're not eligible for Medicare or Medicaid. And they rely on St. Vincent de Paul, and they rely on those donations.
And hopefully one day we'll get to a point where it's not needed, but we're not there yet, so it absolutely feels the need.
I'd like to end this segment by thanking both of you, but I want to talk about something we talked on the TV show just in the last 30 seconds of this segment. Just talk about what Father Pat Mascarella said in that homily recently.
Well, in his homily, and he always gives a moving homily. He always makes you feel good. But he had this one part of the homily where he talked about Jesus knocking on the door of the church. And he said he wasn't knocking to get in, he was knocking to get out. And he was really relating it to the message that we're getting from Pope Francis, that our faith is not to be locked up in a building, but it's supposed to be spread through the community. And it really was inspirational. And I think that's what St. Vincent de Paul does. It's Jesus' work. It's Jesus knocking to get out and spread the love and joy in the community.
Well, y'all are great examples of people that have taken that call, responded to it. We hope that all of you in the audience will take Chris and Kay up. Their challenge is to all of us is to do more prayer, to strengthen our spiritual lives, but to put that into action. Call us at St. Vincent de Paul at area code 225-383-7837. Get involved today or go to our website and punch in where you can volunteer and we'll contact you by email. We hope you enjoyed today's special web episode. We'll see you again next week on Beacons of Light.